Hey guys, today I am doing the top 10 influential book tag, and I'm really excited to do this. It looks like a lot of fun. I was tagged by Sarah Churchill, so thank you. Thank you very much. The point of this video, oddly enough, is to list the top 10 most influential books of your life. And you're not supposed to give any detail about them or explain why, and I'm not sure why not, but I'm sure there's a reason. I do know that some people have been giving some explanation, but I'm just going to go through and tell you what the books are. There's one that I'm going to talk a little about just because it seems very important to me. If you want to know why any of these were influential, go ahead and ask me, and I will try to remember why. These books are in no particular order. I just found 10 that have been very prominent throughout my life. So, let's get started. Misty of Chincoteague by Marguerite Henry. I don't even remember the first time that I read this book. It's just been kind of a constant throughout my life. Mossflower by Brian Jacques. And this is the book that I want to talk a little about because if there has been a single book that has inspired me to become a writer, it was this one right here. And it wasn't necessarily because it was a really good book or there was something just really intriguing about it, which there were. I've loved this book for a really long time. What really got me is I was sitting there reading one day. Wow, look at all of these words just pulled at random from our English language, and they've been put all together by a single person, and they make sense. What are the odds of that? That's got to take some incredible skill and talent. I wonder what that would be like. And that was basically my thought process as a 10-year-old reading one of these Redwall books for the first time, and so I decided, hey, I could try that. The Enchanted Chronicles by Patricia C. Reedy. Now, as you can see, this is not actually the first book, and I'm not necessarily saying this was the book that had the most influence on me. This just happens to be the only book of the series that I own. It's very sad, I know, but I am incredibly picky because I want the Enchanted Chronicles with all of these covers, and it's an older cover. They've redone it, so I'm having trouble finding the editions of these books that I actually want. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. I'm sure that a lot of kids read this when they were younger, but this was one of the first really mature books that I ever listened to. It was a huge concept for me when I was probably 8, and so this was just one of those books that I listened to and I just went, whoa, books are really cool. They really are just imagination, and they open you up into different worlds, and so that was a big thing for me. The Magicians Nephew by C.S. Lewis. The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. And really, it's the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. I don't think there is a reader of fantasy out there or a writer of fantasy out there that cannot claim Tolkien and his Lord of the Rings as some kind of major influence. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This was probably the first classic I ever read, so its influence is pretty much self-explanatory, I think. Artemis Fowl, The Arctic Incident by Owen Colfer. Much like The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, this was the first book of the Artemis Fowl series that I read. This was also the first book by Owen Colfer that I ever read, and so it's had the most influence on me as a reader and a writer, just because Colfer has had a lot of influence on me as a reader and a writer. The Spiderwick Chronicles. Just the combination of the story and the format and all of the illustrations, it had this huge impact on me. Last, but most definitely not least, we have Half Moon Investigations by Owen Colfer. This is another Colfer, but what do you expect from the author who has single-handedly influenced me more than any other? So Half Moon Investigations finishes us off with number 10. I will admit that choosing these books was really hard because it's the most influential books, not necessarily your favorite books. So the 10 people I'm going to tag are Booking the Trend, Mind, Books, and Soul, Garrulous and Bookish, and she gets extra points for actually using the word garrulous, which I absolutely love. Bookworm Tales, Magic of Books, C. Tyler Books, Climb the Stacks, British Bookaholic, Adoration of Reading, and Katie Can Read. So I hope you guys enjoy doing this tag, and have fun with it. This is Amanda signing off.